And so every day I would walk in the house and look at the box and go, oh. Or I was trying to find a book that I was going to give a talk on. I know it's here someplace. What box is it in? And spend all that energy and all that time and all that, because I didn't finish that job. And one morning, Dr. Oz, if you remember Dr. Oz, Good Morning, I can't remember what show it is, but it's one of those morning shows. He came on and said, stress factors in your life, they're called nuts. And I went, that's where I got the title, Nuts. And I started thinking about that. All these nuts in my life, I've got a lot of them. My whole house is in disarray. So I went and started making a list. I started checking them off and realized that there was so much stuff there. We had a rummage sale, and half of my stuff went in the rummage sale because I said, if this hasn't been in a box for 9 months, I'm not going to use it. And I started finding out about clutter. So it's not just nuts, it's nuts and clutter. It's like a new candy bar, nuts and clutter. You know, and I started finding out that clutter was everywhere. And this person that I work with, she's one of those that has a pile here, you can't see the top of the desk. And it's one of those U-shaped desks, and then that overflows to the chair, and then the credenza, and then the bookcase. And I asked her, I said, do you have that, that contract for, the bank? Well, it's here someplace. Well, see, that time right there is just spent, wasted. So I started thinking about how can I help her get rid of these nuts? Because I was so overwhelmed in my life with all of my nuts, I started thinking I was going to help her. Avoiding my nuts. Because it's real easy to see you're all nuts. And I wanted to make sure that she got her nuts in order. Because that would help me. No, it didn't work. So I said, the only way I can help her is by example. So I went through and I cleaned my house, I cleaned my office at the church, and all of a sudden things started flowing in my life again. It wasn't stopped, but, it was definitely restricted. It's almost like a conduit going, and I wanted to make sure that flow is there because I love things happening like that. Just this last week, Diane, the painter lady, she has a Prius, brand new Prius, and she's out loading scrap metal in the back of her Prius to take to the salvage yard. And I'm going, Diane, we need a truck. We need a church truck. See, in Bremerton, you can have a church truck. She goes, yeah, we do. This car is just not made for this. And she's been doing that for a year now. The neighbor across the street pulled his truck out of his carport there and put a for sale sign on it. I went, oh, Diane, look at that. It's a sign from God. And the guy is an incredible mechanic, so we know it's in good shape. And he only wanted $1,800 for it. And they're good friends. I now got a church truck. So one of the things that I did during this is we have a saying over there. And it's almost like the truck. It's called Get Her Done. Larry the Cable Guy. You laughing? This works. So now, when we are faced with this insurmountable odds and all this clutter, and we want to get her done, we do this mantra. Ready? You're going to do it with me. Ready? Get her done. I didn't hear you. Come on, ready? Get her done. Wow. You take that into your yoga. The vibration is incredible. And the neat thing about this is to have fun with it. Because one of the things when you have the nuts and the clutter, you beat yourself up about it. I had a friend she kept on seeing this box on the kitchen table. And it was springtime, and it was the box from Christmas that she said, "Oh, I need to put that away. Oh, I need to put..." And then she sits down. I'm so tired. I don't know how this woman does it. She has 2 part-time jobs. She works at the church as a volunteer church administrator. Who's the church administrator here? Is she here? That is not a part-time job. I don't care what you do. And she's working, printing things all week long. Oh yeah, she has 4 kids. And so she would be tired at home and she wouldn't put that away. But guess what? She got energy when she put that away. She got completion. And we just hired this new bookkeeper. Make sure my stapler's right there when I come back next week. So I'm guarding her desk all week, Peggy's, and she's like the goddess of bookkeepers. She does Bainbridge Island, Unity, or something else now, but Bainbridge Island, Kingston, and now she's doing us. And she's this wizard at QuickBooks, and she's just, I love her, but she's very, make sure that don't mess with her stuff. And I was telling her about this talk. Oh, and that's the other thing. She's a retired Unity minister. So she's got that prosperity working in the books. And I'm like, ah. And besides going over the bills, and she says, saw this page from back when I first started. There was 3 pages of unpaid bills. Most of them 120 days, and then all the current ones. And we're down to 3 on that list right now. 3 bills, and those are question marks where we, changed phone services and they kept billing us, even though we quit using them. There's some mix up there, and so it's kind of great. Anyways, Peggy's in charge of this, and she's talking about completion. That unless this is put back in its place, it's not complete. Now, I thought that was just my anal retentive stuff, that I have to have it just so. But it's not. It's like dinner. If you think of it as dinner. Okay, you have the idea. What do I want? Chicken cacciatore. Okay, so you go through you got the idea of it. And then you start looking through your cupboards. Okay, I need to get this and this and this. Then you go to the store and you prepare it, so you start the manifestation of that. And then you set the table and you eat it. And what do you do after that? The dishes, the cleanup, putting things away. Because if you don't do that, you're not ready for the next meal. But yet in life and everything else, we tend to just, I'll get to that later. I'll get to that later. But the problem is it creates that energy flow where you're focusing. Eckhart Tolle, he talks about it. We people, and he's talking about himself, maybe not, I don't know. But he says we humans tend to surround us with clutter. Here, in the mind, in the thoughts, in the body, in the physical, and then that transfers over to the spiritual. So that flow that's always going by, are you a rock in it because you got so much clutter around you creating rapids? Or are you in that flow, that divine flow? And I found out that's where I want to be. I want to be in that nice flow that just goes down the river. Doesn't bump into anything because things come in. So that's my story. Don't forget that mantra. Get her done. Thank you all.